What's good, everybody? How y'all doing today? I'm going to be bringing you the top 5 things to get ready for Legion, in my opinion. We're going to start off with the leveling alts. One thing I will say that is almost mandatory is you're going to want to make sure that you have one of each tank class at level 100. You're going to want to have, Monk, Paladin, Druid, Death Knight, and Warrior at 100, because those mop raids, legacy raids, I'm getting the impression you're going to be making a lot of fucking money off that. And it might be one of the few times you're actually going to be able to sell transmog. So that's going to be really important to have. Plus, you're going to want to make sure that you have the characters that you want to play, or that you feel as though might shine really well in Legion at 100. If you play a sub rogue right now, you're probably hitting the top in your DPS charts if you're anywhere near BIS. So you're going to want to know, they might just take out half your fucking rotation, then you'll be shit. And Fury Warriors might be good again. Or they might not. The next thing you're going to want to do, number 4 on the list, kind of goes along with what I just said, but it's learning Legion and learning classes. I'm kind of just adding on to what I just said. Obviously, you're going to want to learn your class, what abilities are going to be introduced, what abilities are going to be removed, all that shit. But mostly, you're going to want to know first tier raid mechanics if that information gets released before launch, which I'm sure it will. You're also going to want to learn dungeon mechanics, heroic dungeon mechanics, the new challenge mode kinda esque dungeon mechanics. I still don't know what they're calling it. You're gonna want to know as much of that information as you can. Even if you really want to go that far, learn quest lines. So that way when those bullshit quests you can't figure out, try to know the quest lines for the characters you're gonna level. Unless you don't want spoilers and shit, that's understandable as well. But getting your fucking artifact weapons, know those quest lines if you really want to go that far, just so that way you can be going through the content as fast as possible to hit 110. So number 3 kind of relates to 110 as well, and that is get your legendary ring and your legendary trinket from mythic dungeons. From what I've seen, the ring's going to be pretty good, but the trinket is really fucking good. It's going to be 800 item level at level 110, and I think this is just a judgment call that they're going to be the 800 item level trinket. It's going to be kind of like between heroic dungeons and tier 1 raid gear. It's going to be very useful in tier 1 raiding. It's probably going to be the best thing you can have getting into tier 1 raiding as far as a trinket goes. And trinkets are always something for me, at least in my experience, that it's really hard to find a good trinket that fits your class well. Minus, the mythic Archimon trinkets and shit like that. But those 2 things are going to be really important because they're going to last you through heroic dungeons, most likely. Number 2 is having your professions capped before Legion comes out. You're going to be able to make, shit for yourself, gear for yourself, that it's going to really push you forward. You're also, if you remember, like the two-handed, what the fuck are they? The Steelforged Great Axe. That shit was, on my server, was like 50k at fucking Draenor launch. Those fucking weapons and armor, that shit was fucking insane. And people fucking bought them too. So, even herbalism and mining are going to be really useful when Legion comes out. So it's good to have those leveled now. I'm going to be trying to go for 2 scribes. I'm probably going to have another tailor, just because I want a druid with tailoring. And maybe another blacksmith, because from my experience, blacksmithing shit sells faster than anything else. I don't know if it's because there's more plate classes or dual wield classes, swords and one-handed swords and two-handed axe classes. There's a lot of them. I don't know if it's because of that, but that's just what I'm going for. So now onto the honorable mentions. You're going to want to probably try to, unless you're a complete and total solo player, which is understandable, you're going to want to find a group of friends. If you PvP, maybe find 3 or 4 people, or if you're a solo player, maybe 3 or 4 people just to do dungeons together with, shit like that. But ideally, if you're a raider, try to find a raiding guild. A guild that you can count on when Legion hits to be in the fucking content early. In that fucking first tier shit, like fucking white on rice, in a fucking glass of milk, on a paper plate, in a motherfucking snowstorm. On that fucking raid content. That's ideally what you could get in a raiding guild. Up next is Nemesis Quest, and your stables and your garrison. Nobody's going to be in Ashran when Legion hits. I think that's pretty fucking apparent to everyone. Everyone hates Ashran already. There's no way anybody's going to be in Ashran to get your Nemesis Quest done. And the stables, we don't even know if we're going to have our garrison when Legion hits. I kind of hope we fucking do, because I like my Lunarfall Inn and I like my fucking shipyard bringing me in all kinds of gold. That's what I like, just all kinds of fucking gold. So I kind of hope garrisons and shipyards are still in there, but they might not be. So try to get your stables done, get those mounts, make sure you have them when the new content hits, just in case you can't get them anymore, because there's nothing worse than seeing something, even if it is some shitty ass reskinned fucking boar, but knowing you can never get that, and somebody else has it. And lastly on the honorable mentions is lore. The lore to this game is really cool, like it honestly is. The Arthas lore, the old gods, the titans, fucking Sargeras, you know, even like even the Warlords of Draenor lore is pretty fucking cool. So learning about the lore can really make you want to play the new expansion. It can make you, you know, want to play the game right now. I think lore is really, really fucking something that you should look into, you know, while waiting for Legion to come out. So that's the honorable mentions, and on to number 1 is making gold. I think gold, you know, the amount of gold you have or making gold before Legion, shit like that, that's going to be pretty high on everybody's list. But when you really think about it, like let's say you can't find a raiding guild in Draenor, right? Because half of them are done because they've already cleared Mythic HFC and they're just like, well, why pay $15 waiting for Legion? Let's say you can't get into a raiding guild. If you can have enough gold to buy that crafted gear, or if you can have enough gold to craft that gear, most likely raiding guilds are going to take you. They're going to take you in purples, even if you're a fucking dick, generally. I mean, from my experience as a raid leader, there's times where if you want to down the next boss to progress your guild, that you have to take the tank, who's an asshole, but he's got a fucking 50 item level, or not, well maybe not 50, but you know, 20, 15, 25 item level higher than the really nice guy. You just have to do that if you want to progress. Now obviously you keep trying to gear the guy who's 25, 20 items levels lower, who's really cool. Yeah, you get that guy geared, but if you really want to progress, sometimes you have to make those decisions. So if you can put yourself in a position to be picked over somebody else because you had enough gold to get that gear, you know, you can really, really get into a raiding guild, and you can become a priority in a raiding guild doing that. Gold's really important for shit like that. It just is. Like, that's just how it works. It sucks that sometimes you have to take the asshole over the cool guy, but I mean, money does talk, and if money can get you that gear to give you that one piece to your raid team that you have to down the next boss, I mean, like, that's just the direction it goes sometimes. So I would definitely recommend everybody trying to have a gold capped character by the beginning of Legion. I'm going for 2 million gold, maybe 2.5 by the beginning of Legion. I'm pretty confident I can get there, and if not, I mean, like, I have a lot of gold in assets right now. That's what I'm doing. I'm buying shit that's going to be worth gold in Legion. At least I hope it's going to be worth gold, because I bought a lot of it. And excuse me, and that's what I'm trying to do. Just having enough gold that I could help the guild that I'm in right now, that I'm trying to grow with and grow in Legion. Maybe, you know, if you have enough gold and you're in a serious committed raiding guild, maybe you can help out that tank that's 20 item levels lower, so you don't have to play with the fucking asshole that just screams on vent when he dies. You never know. I mean, it all depends on how committed you are to the game, and how committed you are to your guild if you want to spend that kind of gold on somebody, but sometimes it is worth it. And that's just a couple reasons why I think gold is the #1 choice. But that's the video for today, guys. That's my top 5 things and my honorable mentions and shit, you know, shit that you guys should have ready for Legion. I hope y'all enjoyed. I hope y'all learned something. I hope y'all expanded your fucking brains. And yeah, if y'all enjoyed, like, comment, and subscribe.
Jack it up.